Whether you're just starting out or have been in the freelancing game for a while, there is one major difference between writers who earn $100 a month and those who earn $10,000 a month. Want to know what it is? Keep watching. Hey guys, it's Alex. I am super excited to have you here. If you're new to the crew, welcome. Every single week, I release a new tutorial on how to start and scale your freelance copywriting business. So be sure to hit subscribe below and then click that little bell icon so you don't miss any more videos from me. All right, now in this video, I am diving into the often hella awkward art of asking for money. So if you've ever wondered exactly how to charge for your freelance writing services, you are in the right place. Because no matter where you are on your entrepreneurial journey, this question is inevitable. And it'll come up time and time again as you take on new clients and projects. Perhaps you've been asked to rewrite the entire website of a company that's going through a total brand makeover. Or maybe a client simply wants you to spruce up a small batch of marketing emails. Or maybe you've been asked to put aside a few hours a week for a client that needs a part-time copywriter. The great thing about being a freelancer is that your job can take many different forms to fit many different needs. But this also means that there's no single pricing method that you can use for all of your projects. How you charge your client ultimately depends on the scope of the project, the client, and the level of experience or expertise you possess. Now, if you're new to copywriting or freelancing and want to know where to start, you may want to check out my video on how to become a freelance copywriter and get your first client. But in this video, I'm going to be sharing the 4 pricing models that I've used as a copywriter, what's great and what's not so great about them, and what you need to know in order to build a long-term $10,000 a month copywriting business. Okay, so pricing method number 1, hourly. Charging based on the number of hours you work is probably the most straightforward way to help your clients understand what they're paying for. Once you have the scope of work that's required, you can estimate the total amount of hours you believe it would take to get the job done. I usually recommend hourly rates for ad hoc or ongoing general tasks that don't require heavy briefing. So this can be things like editing or proofreading or optimizing copy from a previous writer or small pieces that require a quick turnaround time. However, if you're new to the biz and you're building your portfolio and you're just not sure what your hourly rate should be, this is a great pricing model to start with for your first couple of projects to find your groove. The trick though is to keep a detailed log of what you're working on so that you know what each task would generally entail moving forward, whether that's research or calls with your client or actual writing time. Plus, you never know when a client might request a breakdown and you don't want to be caught scratching your head and going, what did I spend my time on? So there are some great tracking tools out there like Toggl or Harvest that you can use to log your hours effectively. Now, one of the possible downsides of charging by the hour is that you might get clients that expect you to work faster and they'll measure your results based on time instead of value. That's why it's really important to lock down the project scope before you get started so that you can give a realistic quote. You might also have a hard time keeping consistent income if you charge hourly if your client only needs you for a few hours a week. So although you might be subconsciously reserving that valuable mental mind share for that client, you're not getting paid for the hours you spent waiting for work. So let's move on to another really popular pricing model, and that is fixed and project-based pricing. So fixed pricing is when you quote a flat fee for an entire project, which is usually based on the time and effort it will take for you to complete it. Now, the best part of this pricing method is that you always know exactly how much you're getting paid, which will help you with cash flow and your overall finances. This works great for small to medium projects that are frequent, such as email sequences and landing pages, or short-term projects that take between a couple of weeks and a few months to wrap up. Fixed pricing is great because you can predict workflow and plan ahead to make sure you're maximizing your income every single month. Just like hourly rates though, it will take some experience to be able to estimate the amount of time you require to complete the work as accurately as possible and include room for contingencies and potential scope changes. You'll probably need to run through a few clients in order to find that sweet spot for pricing your projects. All right, so let's move on to pricing method number 3, revenue share. Now, this is a pretty unconventional way of getting paid, but with the right client and the right partnership, this can be what takes your writing business from a trading time for money gig to a passive income stream. In this pricing structure, you typically waive or discount your service fees for a project in exchange for a percentage of your client's sales revenue resulting from your copy. So it goes without saying that this pricing model only really works for deliverables that are directly written written for sales, like sales letters, webinar scripts, sales emails, and promotional campaigns. Just make sure you're really clear on how revenue is collected, measured, and distributed, and whether you're paid on gross, net, or net revenue. Now, while there is potential for a huge upside if your copy generates a large amount of sales, there's no guarantee that the revenue will meet your target. Plus, it will take a little bit longer for you to get that money, honey, so it can be a risky move. That's why I only recommend this pricing model if you're confident in your experience, have a deep understanding of your specific market, and have built a trusting relationship with your client. Once you get there though, this really can be the secret sauce to building your six-figure business. Okay, and lastly, moving on to pricing method number 4, retainer. A retainer agreement is where you allocate a specific amount of your time each month exclusively to one client's needs in exchange for a set and steady income. This pricing model is fantastic, not just because it gives you a reliable cash stream, but also the ability to develop a great long-term working relationship with your client who will likely be incentivized to invest in your growth. So if you've been in the freelance game for long enough, you'll know never to underestimate the value of having a regular client who pays you a consistent paycheck on time, every time. The amount of time and money wasted on prospecting and onboarding a new client is enough to cut your business in half. And the longer you work with a client, the more predictable and repetitive your work will become, making it easier for you to scale your client's business as well as your own. All right, and the secret to getting paid on retainer is to lead with value. Think, how can I consistently over-deliver to make my client wonder how they ever did this without me? And that, my friends, is the single biggest difference between writers earning $100 a month and those earning $10,000 a month or more copywriting. The writers who are making bank think long-term about their client relationships. They prioritize working with clients that want an ongoing partnership, mutual accountability, and trust. And yes, they offer value up front rather than nickel and diming their clients for every single minute spent and word written. Now, my copywriting business is built on this maxim. While I still use all 4 of the pricing models that I described on a regular basis, depending on the project's scope and the client's needs, I would way rather have a few clients who pay me on retainer than a bunch of clients I have to chase down for $100. So your goal as a copywriter should be to work towards revenue share and retainer-based pricing, but it does take time to get there. Hourly and fixed pricing is a great way to get started, build rapport with a new client, and gain experience. But just know at some point you'll need to say no to those $100 clients to make room for those $1,000 and $10,000 clients so you can actually build a six-figure writing business and not just have a side hustle. Catch my drift? Now, if you're stumped on exactly how much you should be charging for your copywriting services, you'll definitely want to check out my 8 pricing tips you need to consider before sending a quote. You can watch that video right here and give me a thumbs up below if you found this helpful. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll be back next week. Until then, I'm Alex. Ciao for now. How to go from a $100 side hustle to a $10,000 a month writing business, bitch.